Are you going to have mock exercises? Do you think that you're going to be seeing what the scenario would look like on that day? You know, it's going to be new technology. It's like registration all over again. You'll have hiccups, or it will work. Will the battery life last? You know, would they need a generator to charge it? Questions, questions, and questions. Are you going to have a mock exercise?
Well, that's a legitimate question. I mean, coming from the experience with the registration exercise, again, we regret and we apologize to Nigerians for the hiccups that we experienced during the registration exercise across the country. For the smart card reader, we've been doing demonstrations. I'm aware that there were 2 or 3 times in Abuja FCT last year, late last year. We went to the field and we had, as you said, mock elections. People were asked to line up, and then we tested this. So, and it did work well. Also in our offices here in Lagos, we've been carrying out such demonstrations. Our electoral officers just ended a training program yesterday, a 2-day training program. Again, we presented the smart card readers to them, and we also took them through a walkthrough. So we've been carrying that out, and we continue. We are going to start our training for ad hoc staff on Monday across the nation. Again, the smart card reader will be there to be used. We're going to train them how to use it. And we're going to also have very practical way of training them.
And this is the same ad hoc staff that are supposed to be in the field distributing the cards?
No, not those ones.
Not those ones. Isaac Ojo here says, in K2 Agboyi LCDA, we have 10 wards, but use 1 center, and INEC officials don't come there by until 1 p.m.
Well, maybe you went on a Saturday, as I said, but I'm not sure whether 1 p.m. is actually correct. Agboyi K2, the 2 Agboyi there and one other area, the 3 of them, there's a ward there. In fact, there was somebody who called me concerning that place, and I had to describe where the person could get the car. Eventually, the person was able to get there. But it turned out that the person didn't re-register last year. That's it. But so I'm not too sure whether we're talking about the same place, though.
Okay, no, this is outside Lagos, but maybe you may respond to it. Eddie says, what's the possibility of opening the card transfer platform, his registration in Benue, now in Abuja?
No, it's too late now. You know, the law says we should release the register of voters 30 days to election. So, and it's in the register, it indicates precisely where you registered or where you're going to vote already. So you cannot go back now and begin to work on the transfer. It's too late.
Ajibola here is saying that INEC didn't inform people that the data was lost. Some people went to the center and found out that the data has been lost.
If you didn't inform, or if you didn't hear, we are sorry about that, but we did inform people that indeed we had issues with 2011 registration exercise. In fact, people knew that because during the exercise in 2011, during the elections, we used 2 registers, the electronic register as well as the manual register. Why did we use the manual register? Because we didn't have information for certain particular registrants in the electronic register. And that's already an indication that we lost data.
Some time ago, there was a meeting between INEC officials and physically challenged persons.
Yeah.
Because I see a question here that says, what if someone has no fingerprints? How would the person vote?
We've also factored that into biometrics, and such people, they're also allowed to vote. Since we also issued PVCs for them, they'll be allowed to vote. And they also get priority voting. I need to say this. Once they come in, they are led to the head of the queue, and they're attended to at once.
You know, what are some of the lessons that INEC has learned? Because there have been hiccups of this exercise. People expected a lot more from INEC. They say INEC had 4 years to prepare. They knew that they were going to be using permanent voters' cards. We had TVCs since 2011, and all we asked for was PVCs. And it would seem that, you know, it's not been a smooth exercise, and that's putting it very mildly so far. What are some of the lessons that INEC has learned?
Well, the first lesson, again and again, is we didn't have enough funds. If you had had sufficient funds from 2011 to 2014, perhaps you could have done this in phases. But again, INEC does not exist as a commission on its own. It exists within a country that has a number of other commitments here and there. And your commitment can only be allowed maybe when you get close to when you need to execute your project. So the bulk of the funds for the registration and also for preparing for the elections were only appropriated in 2014 and 2015 budgets. So it's not just that INEC sat back. No, but budgeting was also a crucial factor.
No, that doesn't sound like lessons. That sounds more like excuses. I mean,
No,
like
it's a
the reason why
reason,
we
not
have
an
what we
excuse.
have.
Reason,
You know,
reason,
that's what it sounds like. But you know, the question is working with what you have, knowing the country that you belong to, knowing that you know certain things might not work as smoothly as you planned. What were some of the contingency plans that we had in place in case this doesn't work? We will do this. In case that doesn't work, we will do this. What were some of the things that INEC did?
I think the lessons are, first of all, to be collective. I mean, it should be a national one. When INEC comes out with its budget, I hope those who have to give approval will also answer us in time, maybe a year or 2 years ahead of time. One, that's one. And two, we also need to look at maybe our process is more. We are improving by the day. I need to say this. I will keep on improving. We don't have a perfect process in place, and I don't think there's any organization that does have that. Logistics, so we keep improving. Definitely, we work more on our preparations next time, a lot better than this time.
I know you spoke about this matter, receiving PVC by proxy. You said it's not possible. But again, another comment is coming through here. John says his barber told him that he received this PVC by proxy.
Where?
Okay, he didn't indicate where actually, but I've had several emails also saying they got their cards
I would
by
have
proxy.
been happy if we could really trace it and be able to identify who particularly did this.
Do you think
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but it's better to really take each case on its own merit.
Do you think that declaring a public holiday will help in this case?
Definitely, and I think we are considering asking the government to do that. Maybe a day or two will allow people to really be able to come out to collect.
And the commission can cope if a lot of people come out on the day.
Definitely, we have to find a way of coping one way or the other, deploy more men, more materials. But definitely, it will help us. And don't forget to, I think during the registration exercise, we also had that holidays declared almost all over the country.
But about logistics,
yeah.
The last time, I mean, people are talking about, look, we're donating generators, we help INEC buy fuel, and those kinds of issues. Is there any plan for any backup this time?
It's always an embarrassing story whenever I hear that, because INEC, right from the headquarters, always makes provision for generators. In 2011, generators were bought for all the wards in the country. Yes, for all the wards. It's a lot. It's a lot of investment. It's a lot. And we still have not less than 80-90% of them in good order. But this year, we're not even going to rely on that. Money has been made available to states to arrange to hire. And they don't even wait for the ones you had 4 years ago. We don't want stories. But go and rent a good one. Make sure it's in working condition before you hit the road. But if there are places that there are also stakeholders or people out there, community leaders who say they want to offer this free, it does happen, even without INEC staff asking for this. Unfortunately, even after offering, they'll now be the ones to go back to say, INEC didn't have this. I have a text. A gentleman has been troubling me, and then 2 days ago, he sent a text. He said he wanted to speak with me. I didn't pick his call. Now sent a text. If the cards arrive, will you allow us to take care of logistics for you? I didn't reply him. So he called me again yesterday morning. I said, look, we have sufficient funds to take care of this. We are not asking you, but if you get there and say you want to help, we won't say no. I have to come out clean with them. But this is how they start, to encourage or induce our staff, and eventually say, INEC doesn't have these things, and we are the ones who provided them. No.
All right. Thank you for coming on. Mr. Akin Orebiyi is the Resident Electoral Commissioner for INEC in Lagos, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir.
We'll be back after the break. Please join us again.